Back to the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. I'm Cheryl Garlock with Colorado Front Range Properties. I'm glad you're going to go ahead and tune into the show today. You know, last week I was talking to you guys that I wanted to go ahead and tell you about how to select the right real estate agent here. And that's a really important topic here when you're entering today's real estate market here. Because, you know, like I was just going over some stats here, and we're sort of in the flat syndrome here right now. Things are a little bit slower than what they were a little bit last year there. But we are getting ready to go into the healthier part of spring and certainly summer, and things will definitely be picking up here. So choosing that right agent is going to be really important for you guys. Now, I'm telling you that because I recently closed a transaction where I was what we call in the industry a transaction broker. So when you are a buyer or a seller, you get to select an agent to work with you either as a seller's agent where they represent your interest, or a buyer's agent where they represent your interest, or a transaction broker where in which case they don't represent your interest at all. They only represent the transaction. Now, I make a big point about this here because when you're selling in particular, of course, you don't want to leave any money on the table. You want every dollar you can scrape out of that house so that you can make your next move happen. And if you're buying, you definitely want to save every penny that you possibly can save. Now, the best way to be assured of that is to make sure that you have representation. That means that if you are a seller, you get an agent that absolutely represents your interests. And they have a seller agency relationship with you. And if you're a buyer, it's the flip side. You make sure that your agent is a buyer's agent representing your interest, becomes your chief advocate there. When an agent represents your interest, that is really what it means. They are your advocate. It's a big deal. Now, I tell you this because, like I said before, I recently closed a transaction where I wasn't the seller's agent and I wasn't the buyer's agent. I was what we call, again, the transaction broker. And it worked like this in this particular case. It just so happened that a tenant who had been renting from a particular landlord for, I guess, about the last 8 or 9 years, found out that the owner of the property wanted to sell that, and that seller had moved on to California. And that the owner wanted to go ahead and sell it, and he could go through the steps of finding an agent and having them list that property and do the regular selling of it, which in the end is what he should have done, because as an end result, he and the buyer, his tenant buyer, had cut a deal for a price at about $230. And it sounded fair to the seller at the time. But the fact is, after the closing is all said and done, the truth is that the seller left $30,000+ on the table. $30,000+ on the table. I don't know about you guys, man, but I can do stuff with $30,000. You think you can? Yeah, I bet you can. Absolutely there. So it's really important that you make sure that you don't leave any money on the table and you get the representation. But they didn't ever ask for that, so they, needless to say, they didn't get that there. And of course, from the buyer's perspective, you know, he got a great deal in this particular example. Huge, great bonus deals. He's gotten built-in equity into that home there, so it's really a wonderful opportunity for them. But it doesn't ordinarily happen that way. In order to make sure that you actually get the best value or the best bang for your buck, you need to hire an agent to represent your interest, being a buyer's agent. And I have to tell you guys, I have been a practicing buyer's agent before it became mandatory that we had to disclose that. Gosh, I think I've been a buyer's agent since 1985. So I'm a seller's agent and I'm a buyer's agent. It just depends on which way you guys decide to hire me. So you always want an agent representing you and your interest there. That's a big deal. Now I'm going to piggyback on that with one other little thing here. There was a quick little article in the Keeping Current Matters here when you're talking about agents. I want you to think about this. They said, good agents can deliver good news, but great agents know how to deliver the tough news. And even in our market, even though it's reasonably healthy and it's sort of on track there, it's a little bit slow there right now, you still have parts of the home selling process and the home buying process where there is some tough news. And to be a great agent, you got to deliver all the details, and that's what you deserve. You need a great agent that will tell you the good, bad, and the ugly, as they say. So that's important there to remember. Now, really quickly, I have one other property I wanted to share with you on the show here today. This one is available near Academy in Dublin, priced at $234,900. 5 bedrooms, 2 baths, ready to move into, has had some nice updating. And if you are looking for a big country kitchen, wow, you have just found that right here. Big yard, mature landscaping, a lot of bells and whistles to this home. It's near Academy in Dublin. And let's see, the address on this one, I can tell you that one is 6327 Tourette Drive. 6327 Tourette Drive. Give me a call at 719-321-7600 and let me show that home to you. Also, again, go to ColoradoSpringsBestHomes.com and use your mouse to find a house. You can use mice if you like, but use your mouse to find a house by hitting the Search Homes tab. You'll get all that real-time information just as you need it right there. And if you're thinking about knowing about the Rent-to-Own program, go to our sister website, RedRocksInstitute.com. Check out the upcoming class called Rent-to-Own Homes. Hey, that's it for today's show here, but next week I'm going to be talking about condominiums. Are they a good investment or not? You'll want to be sure to tune into that one. We'll see you then.